OuterOrange.
Yes, it's Zorga time! This will be fun and exciting. I forgot my glasses, guys. This will be fun and exciting. I'm just gonna keep being here like an idiot. I'm gonna keep being here like an idiot until I see the entire chat saying hello to YouTube. This video has been brought to you by the Zorga Cult. That's right, the best, the one and only, the Zorga lovers, the Zorga enthusiasts, the people that love Zorga, that have been playing Zorga, embracing Zorga, being Zorga, emoting Zorga. You know who you are. Today we're doing a whole thing on that. I made a whole Twitter post, as you guys know. But yeah, today I took your lists and they are in this video, and we're gonna be looking over all the Zorga lists, everything that people have come up with for set 4 overdress. That's what we'll be doing today. I got the chat here with me today because they're awesome and amazing, and half of them are pretty much the people that have been a part of this. Welcome in, everybody. I made a tweet about a week ago, you know, it's time for some Zorga lists. Post your deck logs, and imagine that. But we got a bunch of decks here, a bunch of Zorga stuff. They go and go and go. So we're gonna be going through like pretty much all of these. So if you're really into Zorga, this is the stream for you. This is the time to be alive. And if you don't know what Zorga is, you're gonna find out today. If you don't know what Cardfight Vanguard is, well, guess what? Stay for the ride. You'll find out more. Guess what? I know, big. Wow! This is my list. This is my current list. So the ride line hasn't changed. It's still the same. I got my start. I got my 1, my 2, my 3, all that fun stuff. And then I got the Prison Dragon in here, just, you know, to help with that extra 10k of free board. I call this my costless Zorga list for those guys that do or do not know, and all that stuff. So this is what I've been calling it. So I pretty much hit these. I hit this and this, kind of this as much as possible. I just go costless as crazy. I've been experimenting a lot this past weekend with it. The list has definitely been working and putting a lot of work. This used to be a ghost chase, but I changed it. But pretty much the premises of this is you make this hit as much as possible. You pretty much get these out as soon as possible. You want to see this kind of soon. And then I'm running rainbows. That way the shadow kind of always hits and I always have an out, essentially. It is Vices. Yeah, this is abduction here, or Vices as we call it. This really, really helps. A lot of people have been talking about it. Like, I choose to retire. I can retire. I can draw. I can amplify power, I can mill, I can defensively survive, I can cycle my orders, I can revive something, I can retire my prison dragons off of this to bring stuff back, I can get triple drive, you know, whatever it is. And yes, I do run 3 PGs. There's just not enough deck space for everything. There really is not enough deck space for everything. I had to cut somewhere. I cut a PG. I can bounce it back if I really need it. I can revive and bounce if I just really, really, really need it. So I am actually running 3. It's a little spooky, but I've had no issues with it so far. And you guys will notice I do run 1 butcher thingy-mabobber, whatever you want to call this. It's just mainly here in case I whiff my abductions. But here's Spectral's list. Let's see what he's got cooked up. It's called Abs. That's a very, very perfect name. Very, very solid name. So again, we have a very similar startup ride line here. He's running 2 prison dragons. I see a Hydrina, Shark, Bell. This is like all in one list, isn't this? How many orders we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 orders total. Very normal. I read like 11 or 12 or something like that, so I'm the crazy one. And then we got 4 PGs because, you know, they're not as psychotic as me, which is fine. And then we got the Pot of Greed, you got the Retire, you got the CBC, you got, this is the crit one. This is the one that gains a crit. Also running the defensive and the cycler along with the triple drive here. So we do see kind of a similar spec with the Abs, super Abby. I actually kind of like this. So I see so I think spec is going for a multiple win con condition. So you have these as your like 1 win con, but you have these as another win con. This helps you get to your shark and your dragon as soon as possible. And then everything else is just kind of helping with power. So this is helping with power, this is helping with power, this is for bouncing if you need any bouncing. And then you have your options. Like, so spec is also going for like the options variant where he's running a bunch of 1-of orders. And then he's got the main staple, which is the GDR. Spicy multi-win cons, yes. Yes, this is very like spicy multi-win con because the shark can win you a game, but so can these, and Hydrina just pushes it along with dealing with soul issues if you happen to bump into soul issues, which you will because Fleet Swallower does require a soul blast. But Fleet Swallower also gets really high on numbers. This on top of a persona and a GDR is death, and then if you have a triple drive, like if you go GDR into a triple drive, this shark will be very lethal essentially. Here's mine, not really a fan of RDP, so this is Sabriye. We talk about Sabriye a lot. Sabriye is awesome. Sabriye is goated as well. Very, very cool, awesome dude. Really likes to build really cool ass decks. So this is Sabriye's list. Sabriye's been bringing up a lot how he's not really a fan of RDP. So this is his non-RDP list, which is, you can build this too. It's okay. RDP is you have to rely on it and stuff like that. So seeing stuff like this, hey, welcome in. Speaking of Sabriye, he's actually in the chat right now. Look at that. But yeah, so this list doesn't rely on the grade 3 dragon that we're talking about. And I probably should emphasize what the grade 3 dragon is. So the grade 3 dragon, the roaming running Prism Dragon essentially says if you were to Alchemy Magic, you can, well, if you order regular order, you can do one of two things. You can give 10k or you can give a crit. If you Alchemy Magic, you get both skills. So essentially, but the downside is a 5k power. So being a 5k power can kind of hurt you because it's 5k. But the bright side is it's free. You get it every single turn. So, but with our no RTP, you do have more space. You do have more space. Actually, Sabriye is as good as me, and he's also not running. He's also not running a 4th PG because that's just how you work sometimes. But he is running this dragon right here. I've talked about this dragon as well. This dragon's great because it does two things. You can, if you Alchemy Magic or if you attack Toa 5 times, you can put this into Soul and countercharge. So essentially, this gives you a Soul and it gives you a countercharge against prison matchups. It's kind of, you know, you kind of need this. You also notice in here we are running a kind of bind engine. So this thing gets really high on both your opponent's and your side. It stacks as long as you keep getting binds. We have the abduction in here, which is Vices, another binding type of mechanic to get orders back to your hand. And then you'll notice that this is more of like a brutal, like I'm gonna push you type of thing. There are maxing out on 4 GDRs in here to push. We also seeing that there's 2 CBCs for exact same reason. You want to revive your Mr. Ugly guy over here as much as possible, get the extra 5k on top of it, and then get the GDR on top of that. And on a Persona ride, this guy gets very beefy, very strong. You put a triple drive on top of that and you're pretty much good to go. You're gonna have insanely good numbers. You don't need 4 PG. Blitz order is goated. The Blitz order is goated. You'll notice that Sabriye is running 2 of this Blitz order, and I totally support this. Like, this order is just that good. This order is so good that it actually, like, okay, opponent goes, I'm gonna guard restrict you. And you're like, okay, cool, I don't care. You play this, and you get a draw, which could potentially give you shield, and then this gets 5k for every different order in your bind and in your drop. So essentially, you'll all the way up to 40k, 45k, all this stuff. Like, it stacks really well. That's another reason why running rainbow orders works really well too, because the more different orders you have, the higher that this card gets. Like, it's actually cracked. So here is Sabriye's RDP version of that list that we just saw. This is the RDP version of it. No, Hendrina is interesting. A lot of people don't run Hendrina. Hendrina is a hit or miss sometimes. So this is the save. This is Sabriye again, but this is the aggressive version. So notice that we have the 4 dragons, got the Hendrinas. Do we have any other mill in here? We have the Tier Malice, obviously, because RDP exists in here, and that's pretty much the main. And then you want to draw, because you want to draw into these as fast as possible, along with your orders, and then you're still running the dragon, because dragon is OP. And yeah, this is pretty much similar to what you had, but just, you know, pushing more aggression towards hitting these faster, hence why Hendrina is in here. So Misonori is he strat? No dog? Oh, I just realized, yeah, you're not running dog. Okay, fair. No, then you need Hendrina even more. That's actually very interesting. Next, we have Wolfren. This is Wolfen Go. So this is the Zorga list I have been trying and I like the most. BT03 Zorga with dragons. Gather should be regurgitation. Gather upon you should be regurgitation. Okay, so this should be regurgitation. Just prove to mill, just preference to mill into elixir and spam it as if it was a second dragon. Then running more dragons. With this build, you have 100% you have 100% chance of pretty much hitting your turn 4 dragons, and you just need to see a second one. So here we have 3 GDR. So they're running the Agony. This is Agony. This is Agony right here. And then we have the 2 dragons. And then I'm assuming, so this is the ride line. The ride line is 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep that in mind. Then we got the Hendrina, and then yeah, Cursed Agony. I should remember the name of it process. It's been that long since I've seen this card. Like that's how much I don't like this card. But it's okay. Wolfren makes it work, but I'm not a fan. But anyway, so in here we have, let me look through this real quick. So we got the massive crits, we got the fronts, and then more crits. This is kind of where I like to see. We got the chef still in here. This is the CB retire self, CB bind itself, grab an order from dropping plays to hand. And then we got the Rogue Head Hunters in here. We got the CBC. So I see. It's pretty much just pushing. And this actually, emptying out your soul does help. Like sometimes your soul just kind of gets stuck there and you don't know what to do with it. So it happens. I can see this working. It's different. And he's been testing a lot, by the way. Like he's had I think 5 or 6 different lists in the last week or so. So this is the list that he's personally comfortable with. This is Amaryllis. Don't like the rush build, but I think it's needed. So let's check out the rush builds that Amar brought to us. So here we have, so we are also running the dragons in here. We got a little bit of bell. We got the on hit pressure here. So this is when this attack, when the attack this unit hits a Vanguard, bind this unit, choose an order from your bind zone, add to hand. So you'll see a lot of these type of cards. There's quite a few of them. So you'll notice how there's a lot of these cards that cause you to hit and then do something to get order back to hand. This is one of them. So this is the Fairy of Tragic Love. There's another version of the abduction, another version of the Chef Butcher guy. So just another way that you can approach finish this. And then we are running Wild. There's Wild Intelligence. We haven't seen Wild Intelligence out of my list, but Wild Intelligence really helps. You get a free unit and you mill 3 cards. It kind of helps push for this. And this deck is pretty aggressive. We're seeing the 4 Rogue Headhunters. We're seeing the Bell for the aggression. We're seeing quite a bit of aggression. You can retire here. You got the GDR, you got the triple drive, you got the Tearful Mouse because you need it. If you guys don't know the Tearful Mouse interaction, you pretty much what you do is the turn that you dragon. So you have your dragons and you're doing your thing, and now your dragons are there on the board. It is your opponent's turn. Your opponent does nothing to kill your dragons, and now it is your turn again. If you do that, you lose the 10k in the crit, and one of the few ways to help this without having to call over the dragon again is you literally Tearful Malice into another order, and Tearful Malice says retire 2 rear guards, which you can then retire these 2 rear guards to then, you know, do whatever, and then they come back. So after your full Alchemagic interaction, these dragons come back with the 10k and crit again. It's something that a lot of people talk about, but I like to emphasize because this is a really fun and cool interaction. Just keep in mind it's after Alchemagic. Some people have a little bit of like a ruling confusion, like when do these activate if they're in drop in the middle of Alchemagic? The answer is yes. While you're Alchemagicing, if you get rid of them, they come back after the Alchemagic. So it's just a really nice interaction that you can do. And same with the dog. If you guys know about Shadow Cloak works in a very similar way. After you do your Alchemagic, then you do all this stuff too. So it just works out pretty well. Overall good list. I like it. I really like the bells. I really wish I could find room for these. The 7k base is killing me, but the power level of the bells is just so high. I love it. So I love to see this. Very solid stuff. But yeah, overall good list. I like it. I like the aggression. The on-hit pressure is really nice too. So yeah, we are the Zorga Cult today. The Zorga Cult is out and about, and we're partying. And so this is Vice's posting Slate's list. Slate recently got first place, so congratulations, Slate. We gotta get the confetti. Slate did get first place with this list after literally spending hours testing this, by the way, literal hours, and my goodness, this has so many one-of. But as per usual, as to be expected. Is this a JoJo reference? The name? Oh, I gotta read the name. Zorga's Golden Wind. Oh, that's pretty solid. I like that. I like that. This is the Golden Wind. The true hype. The Golden Wind. This being the Golden Wind. FYI, guys, if you didn't know. But that's pretty hype. Meloetta Matt and Slate have spent a lot of time testing this list, and there's actually a whole Twitter post about it and all that stuff. So it's pretty solid. They've been really testing this a lot, trying to find a really good kind of combo wombo, and they're running a version that pretty much pushes the triple drive, like very similar to I think what Sabriye had as well. So they're trying to push for that triple drive as much as possible. So we're gonna start off from the top here. So we got the ride line. Nothing's changed here. Then we have the dragons, which is we've talked about the dragons. Next, we have the Hendrina to kind of push a little bit of either the Soul Buster or the Mill. We have the Shadow Cloaks. We have the Abduction. There's actually only one Abduction here. Did this list change? I'm pretty sure you guys had 2. Anyway, doesn't matter. And then we got the Headhunters, and we got the Bells for the cycling of the power, abuse, and all that. So pretty much the Bell secures your triple drive more often, so you don't lose your triple drives. You can keep using them essentially. Then you can retire your dragons to kind of get your stuff back. And then we got Regurgitation to kind of push, getting your units back to the board and all that stuff. And then we got Grief, Despair, and Rejection, and then we have the cycling, and then we got the CBC. Oh, it's counter battle door. It does counter battle door. So the reason, if you may be asking why there is 2 different PGs, if you read the card, okay, let's read the regular one first, the one everyone's familiar with. This is the newer Sentinel. It's called when this unit is placed, it says when this unit is put on the guard circle, choose one of your units and cannot be hit. If you have a hand of 2 or more cards, you choose a card, discard it. It is mandatory. However, this one is not mandatory. When it's put on guard circle, it is a cost to discard a card from hand to choose a unit, and it can't be hit until a battle. So if there is some kind of guard restriction or whatever, you can literally just place this and just use it. Another thing that's nice about this is that this is a 7k base over a 6k base, which can be a difference. This one is 6k down here. So there may be situations where this might actually become pretty viable because you can switch back and forth. We as Zorga players have the option to get away with this kind of stuff because we can bounce stuff back to hand, use it all over again, get it from drop, and then bounce it back, use Shadow Cloak. There's more ways that you can secure this type of play so you can get away with it, and it works. But yeah, we got the draws. You're running the Rainbow Triggers, I see. So you are going for the Rainbow Trigger route. You got the front, the draws, the crits, and the heals I'm seeing along with you. Here's KroRaptor. I'm playing for the long game. I'm playing for the RDP with the power of yellow. So we have another power of yellow deck. You'll notice a lot of these decks are revolved around this because triple drive in Zorga is actually stupid. The cost isn't as bad. It's great. So So here we have another awesome, we got the Rhydmon, we got the 4 RDPs, we got the 4 Show Cloaks, we got the 4 Hydrina. This is truly not going for the long game. 4 Hydrina, maxing out on that. Got the Abduction, got the 4 This is a very straightforward deck. This deck is so straightforward. Cyber Buddy. We got the 4 Rogue Headhunters, and then we're going straight into the triggers, and here are the orders down here. The more milling, more wild intelligence, and then they're running this card in search of an ideal far away. So this card says choose one of your units until the end of turn. Vanguard, Rearguard, when your other unit attacks, you get 5k until end of turn. So essentially you could choose a booster even, and have the booster, you know, be behind the dragon, and then it'll just make it really strong. This is insanely fast. This deck is so fast, like, it's not even funny. They're running the Wild Intelligence and the Hydrina combo. This deck, I think the only thing that's this deck is missing is 1 Agony. But this deck is it's pure for speed. Next we have Vikk. You're addicted to making these. Here's your Super Rush Zorga. Oh, Zorga and Pals. I got it. I'm smart. I figured it out. Here we have a RDP list. This is actually another very aggressive list. Woo! That is 4 soul condensate body condensations. I haven't seen 4 run since like set 1. Oh my gosh. Rush turn 1. Yeah, this is like, woo. This is asking. You could rush with these. These are so fun to rush with. This feels like a straight rush. But yeah, we still got the little bit of the triple drive, and we do have Agony in here. I just realized Agony is actually in this one, so that's pretty nice too. I like to see that. This is also extra 5k, extra rush, extra power, you name it. And then we are running one little Ghost Chase in here. I'm not a fan of Ghost Chase this set. I thought it would be real. Although Ghost Chase does work really well with Agony, this combo right here is very nice. But Ghost Chase on its own, it's just hard. I was running it and I had to take it out because I was like, you're not doing it for me, Ghost Chase. You're just not doing it for me. But, you know, with this combo, it's really good because you can just bounce stuff back a lot easier. You know, reuse skills, all that fun stuff. Here's a quick set 4 build I slapped together. Typical Zorga stuff. I play more copies of Spiritual Condensation to set up early rush more consistently. So there is that early rush you guys talking about. That's where it is here. Turn 2, early rush. So that's what this comes in. This list is kind of similar to what he had. The only difference here is the abduction, and I think there's less dragons in this list, and actually less of the shadow cloaks. You kind of just maximize on everything else here. So this is the first list actually. This is the first one. The original list where it all started. So we got the this is interesting. We got the old fronts in here. Old fronts, 5Ks, you know, 5Ks behind Vanguard, you know, OP. But yeah, this one's like everywhere. Oh, what the? Vikk, what is this? Cannabis 2, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and they get -1 crits. This one's very copium. This is very, very copium here. You have a full, oh, I remember this. This is the funny list. This is the funny. I almost forgot about the funny. The beginning of the funny. This is just pure, this is no units with the OT, just all orders. So here we have a KumaTank list. This is KumaTank. We're running the other dragon. Or is this even a dragon? It's like a bug thing. Or they're running the dark deceptive diving. So this is one that's used placed on guard or placed on Vanguard or rearguard circle. You can still blast 1, discard an order from hand, draw a card, and so you get 5k power, 5k shield till end of turn. Pretty much what I'm understanding is you have your aggression here because these become 15k attackers. Behind Zorga, this becomes a 28k attacker on its own, which is pretty much a magic number. It's pretty close to that. On Persona, it pretty much becomes a magic number. And then we are running the Ghost Blink. This is really interesting to see. So this is a choose up to 2 grade 2 or greater normal units from your drop point at the top of your deck in any order, and put this card to soul. So essentially, it's a soul charge at the top of the 2 cards on top of the deck. This is a very weird card, but you can kind of cycle with it. I can see this card having some kind of value in the future. Right now, it's kind of in a weird spot, but everything else is just pretty much cycling the stuff we've already seen. But kind of going back up here, I'm seeing that there's just a bunch of cycling going on between Bell, the Blink, the Ghost Chase, the cycling order itself. There's just a bunch of countercharging, countercharging, soul blasting, and then replenishing that constantly back and forth, along with using these as your attackers in the back row, like booster attackers. And then we also have a little bit of that extra countercharging here. And yeah, this is very interesting. I would have to see this list in action to fully understand, like, it's like full on, like what it's at, like the full attempt at this, but it looks really cool. I've been waiting to test physically the most. Okay, so this is the list they were testing that was the one we just saw. So KumaTank has another list, really could pop off round 2 or turn 2. Let's check out this one. So this KumaTank's another list, another with the Kousan. I'm really liking the Kousan. I actually love Kousan. Kousan's one of my favorite cards. to just throw into decks, and just because the 50k is just so funny to me, it makes really, really good numbers, so it's just really nice. But here we have, again with the solo body condensation, really pushing with this here, where so this is early aggression. With this being early aggression, you could choose between the two, and then, you know, use doggy to like mill whichever one you want, and, you know, get back to hand, whatever you want to do. And then you can use Tearful Malice to kill these off, bring it back. You have the bell to kind of recycle everything, and then you have the Kusis. And the only thing is, does 3 Kusi work? I guess it's just to see it in time. I don't know about 3 Kusi. Because Kusi can only be behind your Vanguard. Unless you're running Urgula. If you run Urgula, you can move it around. But otherwise, it just kind of stays back there. Here's Sage. You would never submit a list that you haven't tested yet for this thing, right? Anyway, here is what I really want to try out in Step 4 Zorga. The amount of lines this deck should give me is insane. So this is the Copium list, and then we have like the more specific one down here. Oh, this is the one with the front in it. So Sage is running a deck. Okay, so if you look at the ride line real quick, we got Zorga, Husk, Ranker Chain, and what's that? What's that, guys? That right there is a front, guys. That's right. You messaged me. You actually commented on the same post. I remember now. You commented on this post with an update saying, "Update. Oh God, it works." So I do remember that. But yeah, that's right. So they are running a front in their deck to get it out as early as possible and use it as shield. If I remember correctly, I think that was what was like the copium behind it. And then we got the different PGs here. We got the Rogue Hunter, we got the One Chef, got the Abduction. We've kind of talked about some of the stuff here. We got the Fell, and then let's look down here with the orders a little bit here. So Pot of Greed is in here. We got the Retire Guy. We got GDR, Malice, the Magnolia one, which is so funny. I like that people are starting to use this more. It's very interesting. I've been waiting for the moment where this card gets used more because it can be used in any build. It's not restricted, so it's pretty cool. And they got the Wild Intelligence, the CBC. I am seeing a lot of text here. I like this. I'm really big into like the rainbow orders, so I 100% support this. I love rainbow orders. I think it's so fun. Highlander Zorga one. Highlander Zorga can definitely be a thing. I'm just making that clear right now. It can totally be a thing, and maybe not right this second, but it's coming. The future is coming. The future is almost here. Basically, this list is Uber control. That's what I assumed. I assumed that this is like a straight up control list. You can like bounce this back for the shield. You know, like you do with the power up when you need it. Go into this. You pretty much go into whatever you want to go into. The other list. So this is the one that Sage knows works, even though technically they don't both work. So they're both very, very workable. So this is with the Abduction. We got this is the Sage. The Sage has been pushing the Abduction like really hard. Sage, Sabriye, and Slate. So as you can tell, there's the 3 Abductions in here, and then we got the 1-ups. We still got the 1-up Copium down here that I support, aside from, you know, GDR. GDR is always out of this loop. GDR is always like a 2 or 3 right now. 2, 3, 4, whatever you want it to be. Never 1. You never won at 1 because you need to see the card more than once. You need it as much as possible. So this is more of the rainbow list, along with, you know, these, like, I'm sorry, this to hit your pieces. Like, this is the list that you pretty much handed to me to kind of start testing with, so I really approve it. Well, we are quite different now because I've switched to the OT starter. Oh my god, you actually switched to the 50k. Yo, we talked about this. So Sage is now doing this thing. So we go back up here. Sage is making, and I think this is funny because we were talking about this. He made this into the overtrigger. So you pretty much have a constant 50k shield. You can keep looping it twice. So here's Matt's list. Matt has been the imposter of Zorga. But yeah, so this is the RDP list. This is the non-copium Matt's list. But this is the list that Matt's been testing a lot. Also trying out the Slate Wombo combo with the PG and the Battledore skill. Matt's really big into the order with the, this is the triple drive. Like, he pretty much tries to hit this every single turn as much as possible. I literally faced him, so I have like a little bit more insight on this. I know exactly, like, I know more of how this list works. You hit your triple drive as much as possible, cycle your stuff, and then you use all your orders where you need them. You bell everything back to then use this again, and you pretty much just keep cycling as much as possible. I don't know about everybody because I haven't talked to everybody, but Sage, Sabriye, Matt, Slate, all the people I've been bringing up, they've all tested these lists like an aggressive amount of times, so you can easily take one of these lists, try it out, and see how it fits for you, and then, you know, make it your own way and all this stuff. So just something to keep in mind. Some of these lists have been put, there's a lot of time and effort put into some of these lists, so feel free to experiment with them. Now, this is the funny list. EG started the conversation of putting a Pantherino in your Zorga list. So Matt decided, you know what? So this is the drink your bilk, the drink your bilk list. Cycling this with the bilk. You essentially cycle these two back and forth and you just keep getting them the on-place abilities to activate. So, and you can just keep going and going and going. That's pretty much the focus. You can revive them to then bring it back to deck. Like it's pretty much just an entire list revolved around this card. It's really funny. Fun fact, guys. So the build says you can bring back grade 2s or greater to the top of your deck. So you can bring back the Pantherinos to the top of the deck and then get them back to hand to then activate them again and just do it all over again. So you activate them, then you kill them, and then they come back, and you activate and kill them, and they come back, and you pretty much just keep cycling that. It's just a little funny cycle you can do. And the card just says, you know, you so blast and you call itself out. So this is just a funny little list that you can do here. Inceadra. So this is Inceadra with WIP idea I've been testing with. Love the new grade 3 dragon I got. Just found that the late game isn't working for me. It did have early pressure, but even then I sometimes felt like it wasn't enough. So this sounds like Sabriye in a nutshell. So it sounds like Sabriye took over Inceadra's account and made another Zorga list to prove that you don't need a dragon, is what I'm hearing. No RDP list. So if you're really into the concept of not having a roaming prison dragon in your deck, please check out this list and Sabriye's other lists. If you're really into that style, here they are. Because these are very different from the normal Zorga list, because we have aggressive Zorga with the RTP, and then we have control Zorga with the RTP. But so we don't see too many of these lists. So if you're interested in more of this kind of style of Zorga people, you can try out this. Pretty much the same concept, like in terms of like what you're doing. The only difference is your win con here. So the win con here is the butcher essentially over the dragon, because the butcher just gets higher and higher and higher for the way the game goes, whereas the dragon just stays the same every turn. So the guard's kind of the same, whereas the guard gets harder and harder to block. It gets 5k for each card bound, and it says card does not it's each order card in your bind zone. Never mind, it's order card. But regardless, you can keep binding your orders with abduction. You can bind your orders through alchem magic. You know, you could just do all this stuff. You can bind, I think you can bind through, there's one more way you can bind. You can bind the cycle order, because the cycle order binds itself, so that's another way you can bind. And essentially, if you have like 5 bound, that's 25k. This makes that 35k meter. Our persona can be higher, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go over the orders as much as we're going, kind of self-explanatory unless you see something super weird. We're seeing kind of like, again, like the 1-ups in here, and then you have like this is kind of where the ratios kind of change, is between how many of these versus how many of these you run, and if you want to take this out or not. Like, some people do run this, some people don't. He's running the double retire, the regurgitation and the costless retire. Very interesting. So this is Kousan. Obligatory, not Zorga, but I like this deck all the same. Anchor, this is Iron Anchor Prison Dragon. So Iron Anchor Prison Dragon works the same way as Zorga does, but opposite. And actually, they do have Shield Fisher in here. I thought I saw it. I'm not completely crazy, but they do have Shield Fisher in here because it's a Vanguard Ricka skill, actually. So it's an 18k base Vanguard Ricka card. So this deck, instead of alchem magicking different orders, you alchem magic the same orders, essentially. So that's what this deck is doing here. So essentially, if you alchem magic 2 of these, you get the crit and the power of both decks. If you alchem magic 2 Agony, that means you're double milling, essentially. If you alchem magic 2 of these, that means you have your opponent pretty much retire 2 times, and then you get to call 2 times. So this is kind of how this deck works. The only, I think, downside to this deck is that the Iron Resentment Dragon does not have any other skill, whereas Zorga can at least counterblast revive something. That's the only downside. They're running the Mantis and pretty much everything else in the attack to, you know, get these back to hand, all this stuff. It's very fun because you can pretty much double up on everything. But yeah, so yeah, you can really build this out for super cheap. So if you're really into that style, go for it. Next we have a JS MK2, so another very valid Zorga player. Let's find their list. There's 2 lists. So here we have the first Rush build. And a JS does have a YouTube channel, stuff like that. You can check them out. And so other people have. Meloetta Matt also has a YouTube channel. I don't know if I missed anyone else that may have a YouTube channel. If I have, please let me know. But anyway, so this is a JS stuff. So this another very passionate Zorga player. And let me find what the starters here. So I'm assuming, so here is the ride line 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll notice that this one has not a single copy of an extra Zorga outside of the main ride line. You might be asking yourself, why is that the case? This is actually very normal. If you are truly going for the full-on aggression as much as possible, running Zorga does mess up the engine, because you can just GDR essentially to get that persona ride over, you know, looking for copies of Zorga. You'd rather see your copies of everything else, and that's what this deck is pretty much doing. This is a very aggressive deck. You're pretty much putting your RDPs in the front, putting the Shadow Cloak in the back, bouncing whatever you need, and you're constantly attacking with crits. So, and crits and, like, you know, GDRs. So that's essentially what this deck is used for. But that's like kind of what Ajace is going for here. He is also running the Shark, I guess, just for another win con if it's needed, and all that stuff. And then you got the aggressive aggressive. The Rogue Headhunters at 4 for maximum 13k booster powers. You got the triple drive. Obviously, you need to run these at 4, and then you got the Wild Intelligence also run at 2, and then you got these. You can pretty much early rush with all 3 of these cards right here. I'm sorry, the 3 of these, and then this also helps if you play it on your dragons, all that fun stuff. Card, you're running the Blooming Petal here, so in case there is no soul, you can soul charge 2. This helps against prison. I'm assuming that's actually why they're running it here, because against prison they take your soul away, and then you can soul charge it back, and then get it, and then use it, and then, you know, they will be able to take it away. So it just gives you options. It gives you really neat soul and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of where this is coming from. Also a mid-range build that AJS gave us down here. There it is. So this is a more mid-range build where you have a little bit more control essentially, and a lot less of the aggression. You'll notice that they're actually running the Blitz Order guys. So this is one place from drop. You can choose a Blitz Order from hand and put it back to hand, and the Blitz Order they'll be putting back to hand is this one. I don't think they're running Ghost Chase. Yeah, there's no Ghost Chase, so you'll be bringing back this back to hand, and yeah, it's preparation. Yeah, they are running. Yep, they're running the preparation in here. I like preparation. I wish this card wasn't from drop. I wish it was just a straight on place, but it's not, sadly. But this cycles really well with this and any other Blitz Orders that may come into contact of use. Like any Orders of Use, this works with that. Sadly, this gains like no power or anything. It just exists as a 13k base, but otherwise it's like, it's not too bad. The Chef of Infinite Loops. The Chef of Infinite Loops indeed, because you can keep doing this over and over again if you want. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And then everything else is just, you know, you got the close, you got the RDP. But yeah, this is definitely more of a control build. You have a lot more safety here. You'll notice with the control build again, we have more of the one-ups happening here, and more security, more defense, more everything else, more control with your soul. Pretty much whatever you need to just stay safe and then kill your opponent when you need to. So that's kind of what's happening here. So here's Ricka's list. So running Prison Dragon is pretty good. You can run 4 because you want to see 2 of them ASAP, because starting from there, the game will flow very well. No Hydrina, no Clipping Dragon because they don't gain power and minus themselves. Headhunter still at 4 because CC management, and then there's more down here. So plus Headhunter is a great prison target. It is. Magnolia Order is great. You can instantly give 15k to one of your roaming prison columns. If you want to cope with me, run front as starter so you can have extra order. Interesting. So here they actually bring up what Sage. So this is what Sage was bringing up. This is you can have an extra order with that. Is my brain too small? Have an extra order. Oh, you could put an extra order in because the front is the starter. I get it. You can run an extra order. I get it. It processed. Okay, so here we have the ride line, and then you got the 4 dragons, 4 cloaks, 2 abductions, 4 rocket, and then after that you have straight into the orders: the Retire Order, the Valpata Greed, the GDR, the Malice, the CBC, the Magnolia Order, and then you have the Wild Intelligence. Very nice stuff. This is very straightforward, very aggressive. It just does this thing and just moves on. So I really like it. I like how straightforward it is. I like all these lists, by the way. They're all fun in their own way. So they're all just big blasts. Like, they're just all fun. They're all unique. They all have like a little bit of a touch of, like, you know, your personality, I guess is the best way to put it, like a touch of you. You can't do this as much with other decks or other decks in the Overcharge format. This is the one deck where you can truly kind of go crazy. You know, do what you want to do. And then we have a Saiyawiki. After getting my set 4 cards today, I realized I should pick up some older commons and rares. Welp. So let's go ahead and see what they got going on in here. Okay, so we have another RDP. We got the touch of the other dragon, the counter charging dragon here, and then we have the Shadow back. We got the Hedrina. We got the on hit, the straight on hit for the order to hand, and then we got just more of the gosh, I can't talk today. The orders. We got more of the orders. We're running regurgitation as well for the extra double retire that we got going on here to cripple opponents as much as possible. We got GDR, and yeah. This is another very kind of rush list. The only thing I'm kind of surprised about this list is that they're running the Hedrina, but they're running only 2 of the dragons. 2 sounds really hard to go around, but you know, maybe they're still like adding more to the deck, and like this is like they're kind of like where they're at now. Maybe they'll add on, because I do think a 3rd dragon is just, you want to see these. You want to see this. If you don't see this, you're kind of struggling. You know, you're gonna have a hard time. So you do want to see those. And then yeah, that's pretty much it with that list. Thank you so much for sharing. We do have more. Fenrisulven. So this is Max Hendrina and Intel to find prison drag ASAP. All gas, no break, because goddamn the other ride line grade 4s be hitting. This is a very nice way of putting it. I actually didn't like this one. Let me give it a like. But anyway, Here, so here we have another all gas, all in type of list, and this is really all in. So we have the Magnolia, the Wild Intelligence, the Hendrina, the 4 Dragons. This is truly like pushing to the max. This is like really like, I will end my opponent as soon as possible. So that's kind of what we have going on here. And then we have the, we also have the 8 Crit 4 front. Very nice. There really isn't much else in here. There isn't even a cloak in here. They're just saying, screw it. This is beatdown. As much beatdown as possible. And if you notice right here, there is only 1 Zorga, so no Persona Ride at all. This is just straight Onslaught. And they can start doing the Onslaught really early with this card too, so you can early start pushing and all that kind of stuff and just pretty much end game as quickly as possible. They're pushing this is a push every turn type of deck. You push on turn 1, you push on turn 2, and you push on turn 3. Essentially what this deck is trying to do. 7 and 10. Yep, there are 14 orders. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot of orders. We have another Meloetta Matt list. Pretty sure this is Zorgnolia? This is a Zorgnolia list. You pretty much can move these around. Have the resist against prison if you need it, as long as they don't pop, you know, the Urdula and stuff like that. But yeah, we got the pretty much similar concept. The only difference is that we got the stuff right here. We got the stuff here to kind of help push it with the different like Kusi Urdula style. So I like it. I think that's everybody. Wow, that was a lot of lists to go through. I don't know how many we touched. Might be like 30 something, I don't know. I really appreciate you guys doing stuff like this, so, you know, taking time out of your day to posting you know, on the deck logs or providing all this stuff. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like, it really means a lot, like, because I wouldn't be able to make something like this if it wasn't for you guys. But for those of you guys that aren't Zorga people out there, you can become Zorga people. You can join my Zorga Cult if you're really into Zorga, all that stuff. I do have a Discord and all that stuff, so you guys should check that out. All the people that have been in the chat, all these beautiful, wonderful, amazing people are all big Zorga people, and they're, you know, they know what they're talking about, they know what they're doing, they've been testing and plotting and all this other stuff, so it's been a lot of fun. This has been OuterOrange with the amazing Peels homies. Here are the Peels homies. Here they are. They're being awesome. They're just discussing all their stuff. You can always check us out on Twitch. We are doing whatever we are doing on Twitch every single week. We are messing around. We're having fun. We're having a good time. So you can check us out there. And, you know, be with the homies. We're saying goodbye to YouTube. We're saying goodbye to YouTube. Sayonara, YouTube. Bye, YouTube. No, we say hello? Okay. Hello, YouTube. The video's beginning. The video is ending. YouTube, till next time. This is my normal chat. If this is what you want to be a part of, if you want to bully me all day, please call 1-800-BULLY-ORANGE on twitch.tv/OuterOrange. And you too can bully me.